All right, everyone. Let's jump in with Dean Smith here. As always, we'll go in the room and then we'll go to the Zoom. Willie Pete, go ahead.
What can you tell us about availability this week?
Enzo Capetti's got a tight hamstring, so we'll have a look at him tomorrow to make sure, see if he's okay or not. Other than that, Diani's available for selection. He's trained all week with us, and Lil, he's still waiting for his visa. So I think he plays international next week.
Do you think he'll be ready to roll for the 30th?
Yeah, I believe he will be. Yeah.
In terms of if Capetti can't go, how do you guys, whether that's not, assuming that means Patrick would move into his slot?
Yeah, we've got a couple of options. Patrick, obviously, he's the natural go-to. Scotty Arfield has played there before. Yuri Tavares has played there before. So we've got a number of different options. Kerwin Vargas has played there. He's time in Portugal as well. So there's a number of different options for us.
In terms of the second halves, you mentioned it after the game against Toronto. How do you go about simulating that in training? Is that a fitness thing? Is that a focus thing? How do you do that?
No, nothing to do with fitness at all. And having reviewed the game and reflected on the game again, I was probably a little bit harsh on the players. I watched it back and I thought we could. I look back on the 3 games on reflection. We probably should have won all 3. Probably slightly disappointed that we haven't, but the only reason that we got beat on Saturday was Insigne. There's probably only a handful of players in this league who could have scored that goal at that moment. And he was one of them, unfortunately. And that's why he gets paid so much money at Toronto. And that was unfortunately the reason we lost. Tactically, I thought we played a really good game. We made them play where we wanted to. Callie's not had to make many saves or be diving around his goal at all. So I was probably, that's probably the most pleased I've been in terms of performance, but really disappointed that it didn't result in a win.
Nashville has heavily rotated their squads in their first 3 MLS games because of CONCACAF competition. I know you mostly focus on yourselves, but how much more difficult does that make them to prepare for?
I don't know. I mean, I watched the game last night and I watched the game last week against Miami. I thought they played really well second half last night. But unfortunately for them, there were 2 goals down at that time. But they've rotated what looks a strong squad. I think they've worked really hard and they worked extremely hard for Gary last night as well. Whether the amount of games they've played in this short period is a hindrance to them, I don't know. But I think they've got some really good players. They were unfortunate, to go out, but Messi at his imperious best, scoring a good goal and creating another one. So it was really tough for them.
The last one for me is we saw the fullbacks play a lot differently under the previous management style. I know you're not necessarily inclined to talk more about that, but what have you done with them to kind of instill your playing style, your game model with them, which is so drastically different than what they did a year ago?
I think the easiest thing for me, and it was always going to be, was to get some organisation and stop conceding big chances. We were conceding too many big chances towards the end of games last season. I think we looked really good defensively without the ball. But I always felt that could be done, in a short amount of time. But as you're building, the hardest thing, as we saw last week, is to score goals. That's why players that score goals cost more money than anybody else. So that's the stage of where we're at and working to strengthen our roster. It's certainly them areas to get more goal opportunities. Cheers, Steve.
And just to quickly follow on that, the goals being given up late last year, did that have to do with fatigue at the end of the game, or the ask of the defense to move up an offense that put them, tough getting back? What do you think it was?
It's hard for me because obviously I wasn't here. It looked like they were very man orientated, and because of that, gaps can appear, spaces can appear because people can take you for a walk if you're following them, and where people can then go and use them gaps. We're less man orientated this season.
Yeah, and other questions, like when you're switching out, say, Patrick for an Enzo, does that change things? I mean, players are going to have different, advantages and disadvantages to themselves. Does that change things tactically? Like when you have to change a player out like that, do you adapt to that player?
You can do at times, but from what we've been doing in pre-season, and we're only 3 games into the season, Patrick and Enzo were sharing the load in terms of the game time they played and the way we were playing. So Patrick understands how we were playing. Unfortunately, he was out for the first game with an injury. But I always look at players who and look and think as a centre back, would I have liked to play against Patrick? And the answer is certainly no. He's one of them athletes, footballers who he can hurt a defender without actually knowing he's hurt them. He's got really long levers, and as long as we direct him and work him to use them in the right way, I think he can be a real asset for us.
Yeah, his speed is deceptive with his long stride and stuff, to where he kind of just
and he can run in behind. He can play up to feet as well. So he has a lot of similarities to Enzo. Probably. One of the strengths he's got is obviously his height as well.
And there's a lot, I mean, consistency when it's working is a good thing, going with the same lineup. How close have other players come to, making, giving you a reason to change that lineup to work their way into the first 11?
I mean, if you look at our bench at the moment, there's been a back 4 on the bench, and our back 4 have been quite good. I think they've defended really well. But there's a few times against Vancouver where we didn't defend the long ball well enough. Last week I thought they were excellent, so it's been really tough, for them 4 defenders on the bench to get in. As I said, that next step is the creation. So then the players who've been on the bench have got to be showing me now that they're better than the ones that are playing. So that's their challenge. I put on them to show me during the week.
Have they been rising to it? I mean, are they making...
Yeah, no, the training quality has been very good. The standards have been good, and that's being pushed by everyone.
Great, thank you.
No worries, thank you.
Enzo Copetti is a player that, from a fan base perspective, has gotten criticized a lot in the past. The 1v1 this weekend. I guess something that gets talked about a lot. Maybe not the other parts of his game, but now that he's picked up an injury, what kind of conversations do you have with a player that may be getting some negativity from the fan base, and now he won't be playing due to an injury?
Reaffirm what we do here and how we look after each other. He certainly won't be getting any criticism from us, and if he is reading criticism, tell him not to. It's quite a simple fix. What people won't talk about is the run they made where, he almost drew a penalty from the goalkeeper, the touch he made to give himself that opportunity from Wesley's pass, the selfless running he also does as well. I look at the chance he had last week, and, the keeper's guessed well, made a good save. Could he have done better? Yeah. He could have gone across the goalkeeper. He chose to go that side. But there's other people on the pitch that actually could have got the rebound as well, which, if we end up scoring from the rebound from the goalkeeper, nobody's actually, talking about Enzo missing that chance. So there's many things that, add up to a performance and getting goals.
Nice. And then I think you mentioned last press conference where, the team really hasn't had an opportunity when they were down maybe a goal, and you kind of had that opportunity this week in all those minute 80 when they scored. What did you assess from your team that last portion of the game where you were down 1-0?
Well, to be honest, I think the last 10 minutes was actually played in their half. Patrick was on the pitch. I felt we didn't hit him quick enough because I felt that we could have used his physical presence and played off him a little bit. So yeah, it was 10 minutes and he was tough. And I feel that already in just 2 games we could have got more points on the road. I've been told how difficult it is to travel and get points, but I've not seen that. I've been told about the atmospheres when you go to, opponents. I feel that the 2 games we played, their fans have been pretty quiet, apart from when Insigne scored last week. So we've done our job in keeping crowds quiet, and it's certainly not been anywhere near the atmosphere that we create at the Bank of America. Thank you.
All right, so John, then Luke, Caleb,
A beautiful silence.
Sorry,
A beautiful silence.
a beautiful silence.
Hey, you mentioned that has a tight hamstring and you're gonna take a look at him tomorrow. What does that mean exactly?
It means that he's just feeling a tightness in his hamstring, and the worry then is if he runs, then he could actually cause some damage. So we'll just wait and see. He'll be getting some soft tissue stuff done, and the medical team will tell us tomorrow morning whether they think he can train or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. And then as far as Patrick, his impact off the bench in the last 2 matches, it feels like it hasn't been great. Have you talked to him about his performances and what do you expect on Saturday?
I think he's tough. He's come back from an injury. He came on against Vancouver and had the one big chance from the header, where he just didn't quite connect it well enough. Last week I think he got 25 minutes. We put 2 balls down the side. He won a corner with one, and he won a free kick in the corner with the other. I didn't feel that we probably played to his strengths as much as we could have. But I have no doubts if I have to put him in there that he can perform.
A ton of corners against Toronto, a lot of service into the box. And you talked about set pieces with the
Big time. And I thought our delivery was really good. We were inches away from scoring from a couple. I thought Junior's header had gone in 3rd minute. Brett had a great chance where I think it just got a touch off their lad's head in the second half, where it would have been a big chance as well. So I think we're causing real big problems to the opposition from set pieces at the moment. And Jerry's, I call him Jerry because I can't pronounce his name properly, but his free kick was very close as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Last one, you talked about having a left-footed center back. It ends up being a kind of a left-footed midfielder in Gianni. What does it mean to you to have that piece of the squad, left-footer in that position? Why are you so adamant about adding that?
I just think it gives you balance. I like balance in the team. I like to look at my team and see that it's got balance. If it's got balance, then I think all sides of it, you can actually go on the outside or inside a team. So it's really important for me that we have that. But Gianni himself, a good physical player as well. He's got a really good habit of looking to pass forward when he receives it, and he receives it really well. Got really good receiving skills. So really looking forward to having him as part of our squad.
Thanks.
Cheers, thank you.
His height shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, he's got good physical ability. Yeah.
Luke.
Hey Dean,
Hi.
Luke, Queen City Soccer Show. So I'll start off with what we heard yesterday when the rumors were breaking about Enzo was that he may be out for 4 weeks and that he was also maybe suffering mentally, and the team was considering bringing in a specialist to help with his mentality. Are there any truth to those rumors?
No. Yeah, that's quite an easy answer.
Yeah,
No.
that's an easy one. With Nashville coming up, it's the first game this season that is part of a fan developed contest called the Southern Championship Belt. Are you familiar with this competition?
I am now, so go on, tell me more.
So Nashville, I believe, has won 2 of them so far. Charlotte, Atlanta, Nashville, I want to say Orlando, DC as well. So the top head team gets this fan-made Southern Championship belt. Now that it's on your radar, is that sort of a competition something that would interest or excite you, or are you just going to stick to the games on the pitch here?
No, it interests and it excites me because it's to do with our fans who have been brilliant since I've been here, and we're here to both excite and make our fans proud of us. So if it's to do with them, we'll do our best to win it.
Fantastic. I love to hear that. The fan base has had some criticism for Brecht so far this season in the central kind of attacking role. What have you seen from him, and what do you want to see from him moving forward?
Well, what I have seen from him is an unbelievable ability to be in good positions when we haven't got the ball, wins the ball back really well, wins free kicks in high areas of the pitch. You know, what we probably need a little bit more from him is a little bit more creativity and in the final third. You know, I've spoke to him sometimes about putting the ball, leaving the ball there, and you know, it's down to the other players then to get on the end of it. You know, and yeah, he partly agrees. And whenever you talk to footballers about this, it becomes the chicken and the egg. You know, I can only put the ball if the runs are made, but you know, are you waiting for the run or is it the ball? Just put the ball there, and if they don't get there, I'll deal with them.
That's great. Last question. So obviously going to Nashville this weekend, Music City. What are you going to do to keep Scotty Arfield out of the honky tonks? I know he probably wants to quit.
What are you going to do to get me out of the honky tonks? But no, yeah, we're looking forward to the visit, but Scotty will just be strumming in his hotel room. Cheers. Thank you.
Mike, go ahead.
Dean, there's been a lot of questions about individuals in terms of the offense and the scoring and Enzo being out, that sort of thing. Overall, are you pleased with what you've seen in terms of the shape of your club in the final third, the attacking third, and what they're doing, even though you guys have 2 goals through 3 games? Are you pleased with the foundation of what you guys are trying to do, or are there tweaks that need to be made to kind of increase some output?
We're always looking to improve. That's the biggest thing here. And you know, tactically, I think we've been really good. We need to improve certain things. And as I've said, I've never come here to try and get plaudits. I'm too old, too long in the tooth to be wanting plaudits. I'm here to develop players and develop our team. And I think the way the players are working in training, they're certainly doing that. And I think we've controlled, you know, three of the games that we've played for long periods, and that's a credit to the players with how they've been doing. You know, if the penalty should have been awarded as it was at Vancouver and stayed on the pitch, and had we converted the first penalty against New York, all of a sudden it may have been 4 goals, and you know, people don't say so much. So, you know, we're getting big chances at the moment, more than the opposition are getting against us. And if that continues, then the points keep coming.
Good. Councilor.
Yeah, just one for me. Yeah, you haven't seen your team lose a game yet and react to it. If you go back to preseason, you guys are going to have a good stretch here. What sort of reaction are you expecting? Do you want to see from your team this weekend against Nashville?
I mean, it's not so much a reaction, because I thought we were very unfortunate to lose the game, and I thought Toronto were very, very fortunate. And as I said, for 80 minutes there was just golden silence at their stadium. So, which was, you know, big ramped up first game of the season for them. So, you know, it's not a reaction. I just want them to make sure they keep improving on each performance, because if you do that, you get results.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I do have a follow to that.
Yeah.
Is it an overreaction that you guys are 0-1-1 in the last 2, and people are displeased with Brecht and they're not happy with Enzo? And I mean,
I think I told you from the moment I came that I won't get too high when we win, and I didn't after New York, and I won't get too low when we don't win. You know, it's the nature of football at times. You know, some decisions have gone for us, some have gone against us so far already. But as long as we keep performing to our capabilities, then I certainly believe we'll win a lot more games than we lose.
I mean, it's an overreaction from the supporters that are this.
I haven't seen that, to be honest. I mean, I'm hearing it from you, from you guys, but from what I hear, you know, the fans are really happy with how we've been performing so far.
Is it an advantage to get 3 road games out of the way in a hurry and have a little bit more of a backloaded home schedule?
It would be nice to have a backloaded home schedule, because we've been so strong there. But listen, we probably should have won all 3 games so far this season. So, you know, to have a return of just 1 point out of the 2 games in Canada is disappointing, because we deserve more.
Good.
So you have more of a reputation on the offensive side of the ball, but so far through 3 games, a lot of the talk has been about the defense, and even opposing coaches saying that they know coming into the game they're going to have trouble getting the ball into the box and creating good opportunities. Is that the sort of reputation you want this team to have this year? And if not, what would you be wanting other teams to think?
I think you have to build foundations first to allow yourself to be an offensive team. And I think that's all we've done so far with the players. Give them the foundations of where we want teams to play against us when they have the ball. But then, what are we good at when we win the ball back? I think we've created some really good counter-attacking opportunities. We're probably not delivered as well as we could on them opportunities. When the opposition have got behind the ball, I think we've been patient and drawn them out at times, and our set pieces have got better. So, there's lots of improvements to be done, but I've been quietly pleased with what we've done so far in a short amount of time.
So there is an MLS rule that allows for the reserve team, the Crown Legacy players, to come up for a limited number of games throughout the season. Are there any Crown Legacy players that are on your radar to possibly call up?
I will probably tell you on Monday after I've watched them on Sunday. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching their first game, and already wished Jose and the team well.
Very good.
Thank you.
Let's go to the Zoom here. I know we have two here, so let's go Carol first, and then Sam.
Hey, Dean, how are you?
I'm good, Carol. How are you?
I'm good. I'm at the beach, so I can't complain.
That's all right for some, isn't it?
But I was outside and had a blower going and missed your first answers and just wanted to follow up. So are you saying Enzo might even play this week, or is he definitely out this Saturday?
No, there's every chance that he could play if we feel he's okay. He's got a tight hamstring at the moment, so we'll see how he is in the morning.
Okay, and Jabril has been back practicing. Is he available?
Who, sorry?
Jabril Diani.
Oh, Jibril, yeah, he's been training all week, so he's fit and available for selection.
Okay, and Brant Bronico, I know you mentioned wanting to get him some minutes. Is he at that point yet?
He's not at the moment. He's probably the fittest player out there, fittest injured player I've seen, to be honest. He's completing all the running, but he still just feels it ever so slightly if he's kicking with his left foot. So I've told him not to do that.
Okay, and Jerry, I know he has a national team obligation. Is he able to play in Nashville and then go?
Yeah, no, he's playing in Nashville and then he's traveling for their playoff, and we wish him well for that.
And Abada, is there any chance? What's the update on his visa situation?
Well, we're still waiting on his visa. He's also got an international next week as well. So both him and Jere, both will be out obviously for the Columbus game.
Okay, and I think you mentioned, the goals that could have been scored. I'm thinking about Enzo. If he had taken the PK, if he had gotten the VAR call, he would have 2 goals probably. And I don't know. Do you feel like you have to do any, talking to him about his mindset, or do you feel like, hey, you're a striker, these things happen?
I've reassured him that he still has the full belief in the backing of our dressing room, and that's the locker room. That's an important thing for any player. And this game, I've been in it long enough, is sometimes just about very small margins. We could probably throw another 20 balls to Insigne, and he only puts 1 in that postage stamp area that he did last week. So, that's the kind of things that sometimes happen in football.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, final one, Sam Spencer.
Hey, Coach, sorry I can't be there in person. So quickly wanted to ask, all things being equal, does the healthy Enzo Copetti start this weekend?
Hey, sorry again, Sam, I missed that.
No worries. All things being equal, if he's completely well and healthy, does the healthy Enzo Copetti start this weekend?
Well, it gives him the opportunity, but if there's any doubt at all, I won't risk him. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So obviously, a lot of questions today about his status in the fandom. Is there anybody's performances that have really been sticking out to you that have been highlights of the last 3 games?
I think Addy has been outstanding. Our goalkeeper, he hasn't had to make many saves, but just his presence, just his communication has been really, really pleasing for me as well. But the whole team defensively have been excellent. Really caused the opposition problems with the ball. they've run out of ideas at times. You know, you look at Toronto last week, and they ended up putting a lot of high balls forward that went straight through to our goalkeeper. So defensively, without the ball, we've been excellent. But again, as I've said earlier, the hardest thing is, you know, producing them offensive moments that we've been working on.
And finally, to end it on a fun note, last year, Mike and I think, asked some get to know you questions at the end of these every now and then. Today is Pie Day because it's 314 March 14th. Do you have a favorite pizza?
Pie day. So when you was thinking pie, I was thinking like a meat pie or a chicken and mushroom pie, but then I've remembered pizzas are pies here, aren't they? Okay, yeah. No, I'm just probably a boring margarita, I suppose.
Hey, that's still a pie. And how about a classic puff pastry English pie?
Puff pastry English pie. I think I'd probably go beef and onion.
Awesome. Well, cheers and
Thanks,
safe
Sam.
travels to Nashville.
Appreciate that, mate.
All right, thanks, Sam. Anything else from the room before we
Kidney
end?
pies are only good for.
Steak and kidney pie.
They're good for keeping your hands warm.
Okay.
All right, we'll wrap up there. Thanks everyone on the Zoom.